Hey everybody, Echo V here, and Pokémon sizes! Since this series' first games in Red and Blue, Pokémon have had their heights and weights determined thanks to the Pokédex. However, sometimes these sizes, for a lack of a better term, are really dumb. What you might think is the size of a certain Pokémon due to what we see in the anime as well as in other media is actually incorrect. So for this video, let's see some Pokémon whose official sizes make absolutely no sense. Anyway, here we go! Let's start first with everyone's favorite Pokémon, Charizard. In most of its appearances in both the anime and the games, Charizard is depicted as something that can easily be ridden with ease. But in actuality, Charizard won't be able to do it so easily as you think, since officially, Charizard is only 5'7". This is especially strange since in the anime, Ash's Charizard was initially a runt compared to other Charizard, yet he's still big enough to give Ash a ride. Even worse is that Charizard's weight is apparently 199.5 pounds, just short of 200. Again, Charizard ain't exactly carrying much. We're continuing the video with another Gen 1 Pokemon, this time Voltorb and Electrode, which in my opinion surprises me in how little attention these two get when it comes to Pokemon sizes. In most games, it's a recurring gag to mistake either of these two Pokemon for item balls seen in the overworld, but then you realize that it makes no sense whatsoever since Voltorb is 1'8", while Electrode is much bigger at 3'11". From the perspective of you and I playing the games, it makes sense to actually pick these two up by mistake, but in-game, it makes zero sense. These two Pokemon are way too big than a common Pokeball, which is really the size of a baseball when you think about it. You know what reminds me of? That one scene in Diary of a Wimpy Kid where, for some reason, Greg's mom believes that Manny swallowed a friggin' orange, despite being incredibly illogical. Yeah.
They're the same picture.
For the third entry, let's look at some Serpentine Pokemon, with up first being Dunsparce, whose height is listed at 4'11". No, it does not mean that it looks like this. Rather, it looks more like this. Remember, Serpents are measured from the tip of their snout to the end of their tail. A lot of people who talk about Serpent Pokemon kinda forget that. So yes, while Arbok may be the same size as a Groudon at 11'6", it is actually as long as Groudon is tall. And the last Serpent Pokemon I want to talk about is a Viper, who is 8'10" long. While its leg is at that measurement, then how big is its head? Well, according to this animated Pokemon Black and White 2 trailer, its head is as big as this girl's entire upper body. Now, Viper's head isn't tiny by any means, but that big? Really? I've heard of flexing, but I don't think this is what they meant. For number 4, we have Florigis, who is 3'7". Now, I get that because one of Florigis' pre-evolution is Flabebe, who is one of the tiniest Pokemon at 4 inches. This height should have been pretty obvious, but from the way she looks, I was expecting her to be maybe as tall as a fully grown adult woman. I mean, it kinda makes sense when you think about it. Speaking of tiniest Pokemon at 4 inches, let's talk about all 6 of them with Joltik, the previously mentioned Flabebe, Cutiefly, Comfey, Cosmoem, and Sinistea. With that 4-inch size, you really have to wonder, how are these Pokemon able to hold themselves up against literally anything taller than them? They could be stepped on, and that's it. Also, what are Pokeballs even for? You can just put them in a cage and that's it. Call it a day and it's yours. I mean, it's not like they're gonna escape anytime soon. You can't talk about size without talking about dinosaurs. And next up are Tyrantrum and Aurorus. While I didn't really expect them to be massive compared to real-life counterparts, what I did expect was how Aurorus is bigger, with Tyrantrum being 8'2" and Aurorus being 8'10". While the Amargasaurus, which is Aurora's inspiration, is a sauropod dinosaur, and these types of dinosaurs were one of the biggest in real life. But in reality, the Amargasaurus is actually much smaller than the Tyrannosaurus, so really, Tyrantrum should be much bigger. Lucario is comically tiny, being only 3 foot 11. Now granted, in both the anime and the games, Lucario was never portrayed as being taller than its trainer, but come on, that short? Really? Huh, I guess even the chibi style size in Pokemon X and Y, height-wise, Lucario's portrayal is pretty accurate. Who would have guessed? Ferret is one of the biggest surprises when it came to learning about Pokemon's size. Being based on a ferret, which is a pet to a lot of people, you'd think that Ferret can stand your shoulders just fine as well, right? Haha! Nope! Ferret is a terrifying 5'11". Forget sitting on your shoulders, Ferret's gonna break your back! And your shoulders as well. Regigigas is by no means a short Pokemon. I mean, it shouldn't be, because according to the Pokedex, Regigigas towed the continents to where they are today using only rope. Talk about no easy feat. Now, I shouldn't have to tell you that continents are super massive to begin with, but how exactly did Regigigas pull any continent with a height of only 12'2"? Regigigas would need to have near omnipotent strength to pull even a single island with that height. But then again, with an ability like Slow Start, Regigigas probably wasn't rushing at all. One of the most common phobias out there is arachnophobia, the fear of spiders and other arachnids. But for the sake of this video, let's just focus on spiders, please. Thank you. And so far, only 3 Pokemon are officially spiders: Ariados, Galvantula, and Araquanid. And I think people who hate spiders will hate them more in the Pokemon world because these guys are massive! Ariados is 3'7", Galvantula is slightly smaller at 2'7", while Araquanid is the biggest at, wait for it, 5'11". In the world of Pokemon, bug Pokemon are just way too massive in general. I can actually understand Misty's fear of bugs, to be honest. I'd be scared of them too if they were this big in real life. We've talked about height enough already, so let's talk about weight this time. And first up is Wishiwashi and its school form. While solo form Wishiwashi weighs only 0.7 pounds, its school form is 173.3 pounds. To know how many solos make a school, we simply divide 173.3 by 0.7, which gives us 247.5714. If we round this number off to the nearest ones, then that means that there are at least 248 solos in one school form. Onix is way too light for what it looks, weighing in at only 463 pounds. To understand how light that is, a cubic foot of rock, on average, weighs 165.2 pounds. But, depending on the kind of rock, it can vary between 143.6 and 186 pounds. Onix's height is 28 feet and 10 inches. And if you compare its size to the player, Onix is clearly made of way more than 3 cubic feet of rock. It's no secret that Haunter, along with pre-evolution Ghastly, are tied with Flabebe, Cosmog, and Kartana for being the lightest Pokemon at only 0.2 pounds. Now the reason why I'm singling out Haunter specifically is because of its height at 5'3". Yes, Ghastly is a foot short at 4'3", but because Ghastly is 95% poisonous gas and 5% souls apparently, it makes sense for it to be that light. Haunter, while still having a gaseous body as well, in my opinion, it should at least weigh a bit more than 0.2 pounds. I mean, look at it, it clearly looks like it should weigh more than that. As a Pokemon, Spiritomb has an affinity for the number 108. In the Sinnoh-Dex, Spiritomb is number 108. It's famously known for being made out of 108 spirits. Both its defense and special defense base stats are 108. And oh right, it weighs 108 kilograms. If the same logic applied to both Gastly and Hunter applies to Spiritomb as well, then Spiritomb's 108 spirits weigh nothing, and instead, all that weight is applied to the odd keystone it comes out of. Which, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, doesn't really surprise me. I mean, have you seen that thing? It does look quite heavy, but still, it seems a bit too heavy. Closing up the video is Mudsdale, who is a massive, wait for it, 2,028.3 pounds! I'm not gonna lie, when I learned this for the first time, I was floored by how heavy it is. But then I looked up its origin and it turns out Mudsdale is quite accurately sized since real Clydesdale horses are between 1,700 and 2,200 pounds. Not to mention that Mudsdale's actually almost the same height as well, at 8'2". Okay, so it's pretty accurate its real life counterpart, fine, makes sense. But then, you compare it to the rest of its fellow Pokemon, and you find out that if you don't count forms such as Mega Evolution for example, then Mudsdale is the third heaviest Pokemon, beaten only by second placers Groudon and Eternatus, and in first place, Cosmoem and Celesteela. To put into perspective just how heavy Mudsdale is, it is heavier than Wailord, the biggest Pokemon out there. Steelix! It is twice the weight of Snorlax, and even heavier than Metagross, which ironically, its Mega Evolution outweighs. Maybe this is the horse Thor was trying to look for. And that's it for the video. Any Pokemon signs that you think are weird and crazy, leave it in the comments below. I decided to put my own twist into the video, that's why Pokemon like Wailord were omitted. Although, I did talk about Wailord to some degree, but it wasn't too much honestly. Thanks so much for watching! If it's your birthday today, then happy birthday! And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone, be good to each other.